Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Talking Talent. My name is Andrew. I must apologize for the late start. As you know, that internet and technology have a mind of its own, so really apologize for that. We really appreciate you being here. Tonight, we're joined by Juma Bannister of the Trinidad and Tobago
Yeah.
and Daniel Tate from Jamaica.
Hello.
And we will be talking. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Juma, say hi. Daniel, say hi.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here tonight with everyone, with Andrew and Daniel, and we're looking to have an excellent time talking about the topic this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Daniel Tate here from the Interview JM, and I'm looking forward to sharing some tips with you and learning from our, other panelists here as well. Juma, so excited to share with you this evening.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Juma and Daniel, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about optimizing your LinkedIn profile to assist you in your job search. We know that the pandemic has really thrown a lot of us into a tailspin, and a lot of people have been, out of a job. So it's important that you listen to these strategies if you are job hunting, and also if you're a corporate professional that's looking to build your brand and to leverage that. And tonight, you need to be a part of this discussion. Again, Talking Talent happens here every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. across all major social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And this event has been sponsored by Jody Coy and Associates. Again, this is Talking Talent. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from that short break. Thank you so much for tuning with us. I see a few people joining. Please let us know where you're joining from, if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, or if you are on Facebook. Please give us a shout out so that we can recognize you and share this live. Tell your friends, tell your neighbor, and your family. So again, welcome to the program. I'm going to start off by asking Daniel just to tell us a little bit about who she is, and why you're qualified to talk about the topic tonight. And then I go over to Juma.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Once again, I'm Daniel Tate. I'm here in the beautiful Jamaica, and my company is called the Interview JM. We have a humongous vision for the future of talent in the Caribbean and LATAM region. And so one of the things we're focused on is helping HR professionals really leverage the best technologies to help them with their talent, whether it be HRS systems or applicant tracking systems or other tools to optimize the life cycle of their employees and their incoming candidates. But we're also focused on optimizing the experience for candidates as well. And so we'll be launching soon a solution to really help candidates understand how best to leverage their skills to get into jobs, and while they're in those jobs, to maximize the opportunities in their career and within the workplace. So you can look out for that. And I'll share our social media links later on.
Hey, great. I guess I'll go next.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Juma.
All right, so my name is Juma Bannister. I am the creative director and co-founder of Relate Studios, a strategic marketing and communications company based in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a strong focus on video strategy and video creation, although we work in marketing and branding and all different sorts of communication means and in media. And on LinkedIn, I teach useful things about content creation. So I show people how to appear online through different tips, tricks, techniques, and strategies that are practical on LinkedIn in order for their brand to come across clearly and in order for them to present themselves in the best way on the platform. So that's what we're about. And yeah, I'm happy to be here having this discussion and showing you how you could optimize your visual and as well as other things on your profile on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let's move on. Let's start off with Daniel. When we're talking about job search, and when we're looking at LinkedIn in particular, what's the first thing that should come to a job seeker's mind when they're trying to optimize their profile for job search?
So at the base, we need to remember that LinkedIn, as it relates to a job search, is not just about you, the candidate, looking for a job and using that job feature to find the vacancies, right? Or applying or reaching out to connections who may be recruiting, etc. But it's also about recruiters finding you and persons who may be looking at your profile even without you recognizing it, because sometimes you don't even, you can't tell who's looking at your profile and who has seen your profile, and you don't know
In the
why they're
middle of the
looking.
interview, I'm in the middle.
Sorry?
Sorry. Go ahead.
So we don't know why sometimes they're looking at your profile. So I think the key is think about it from that perspective, not just from yours in terms of you trying to find a job, and think about how can I make it easier for the right persons, the right recruiters to find my profile. So think of it like a job search. If you've ever heard about optimizing websites and how persons are able to find websites with the right keywords and in the right areas, think of it similarly. Your LinkedIn profile needs to be found when people search on LinkedIn, and they'll be using keywords, but they'll also be looking for maybe tags with specific skills, all the ways that you can connect your profile to all the search terms and the things that persons who are looking for someone like you with your skill set would be looking for. We need to figure out how to optimize your profile so that it includes all of those things. In addition to that, though, I would say don't just create a profile, put the university you went to and the degree, but really optimize your use of space there. Fill out the information, make it quantifiable in some cases, make it easy for persons to see your value. So don't just put your degree, but you really want to optimize the space to provide them with information that they wouldn't know unless they had a conversation with you. So there are some ways that we can discuss a little later on about how to really fill in some of those areas with useful information. But those are the first two things I want to start with, Andrew.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Juma, your take?
Yeah, so I agree with everything that you just said, Daniel. It is a place for people to find us. As a matter of fact, if you think about it from a search perspective, if YouTube is a place to search for videos and Google is a place to search for information in general, then LinkedIn would be a place to search for people. And if we were to think about it from that perspective, it is a search engine in essence. So there's one aspect of it which you talked about, which is to be found, but then there's another aspect of it which is to stand out. Because after people find you, then you have to look the part and prove the thing that you've been building up to or building up for. So from a visual perspective, a couple of things are very, very important when you're building out your LinkedIn profile. There are a couple of pieces of real estate that you have to optimize and you have to maximize in order to have the greatest impact when people look at your LinkedIn profile. And number one, and the first thing that people see is your LinkedIn profile banner. That's a big piece, the big image above everything else that people see. It's at the very top. Now remember, human beings read from top to bottom and left to right. So the first thing that they see is that LinkedIn banner, and we have to make sure that we use that real estate properly. As well as the second thing that they see is your LinkedIn profile picture, which is very, very, very critical and important. And just a piece of statistics, if you have a great profile picture, if you have an appropriate profile photograph, you are 14 times more likely to be found on LinkedIn. So I'll just start off with that. Your profile banner and your profile picture are critical, so that when you do the thing that Daniel has said, when you're found, that people are motivated to continue to look at what you have to offer.
And Andrew, if I could just jump in and add my 2 cents to what Juma just said, that excellent point about the photo, right? I noticed, and this might be a little controversial point, but this is my personal opinion that I would like to share here. And Juma, let me know if you agree or disagree, right? But I noticed that a lot of new graduates, but also even mid-career persons, they're using a graduation photo for their profile picture. And the photo looks great. And for some persons, that's probably the only professionally taken photo that they have. So I understand why it's so easy to use it. But one thing that I would say about your profile is that you want to position yourself not for where you are now, but where you're trying to go. And that's, the words that you use want to reflect that. And I think the imagery as well that is associated with your profile needs to project where you want to go. You want recruiters to see you in the position. And so I would prefer, if you have the opportunity to get a decent profile photo, a professional photo taken that is not a graduation photo, I would prefer that be used instead of the graduation photo. So recruiters and others looking at your profile are seeing you in work attire, seeing you in the workplace. Now, of course, this does not apply if you are in the creative space. You could do even better than that. Instead of just taking a static professional photo, you could perhaps take a photo that reflects more your creative style, your personality, but essentially just be sure that that photo that you have there is reflecting how you want the recruiter or the person to see you. And so I'd recommend, for those who just use their graduation photo, if you have the opportunity, choose something that's a little bit more forward thinking than that. And again, Juma, I'd love to hear, as a creative person here, what you think about that.
Well, I have a very strong opinion on this, and I agree with you 100% that you actually create a photograph for the place that you want to go to, not to the place you currently are. Remember, you did all that hard work, you invested all that time in studying and doing all the other stuff so that you could go somewhere. You're not camping in that spot of the graduation. So while you might want to celebrate that graduation with a post, you don't want to make that your primary contact, visual contact, when people come onto your profile. You want to have an image that really reflects what you want recruiters to see and where you want to head towards. So I'm saying that even if you can't afford to have a professional photo shoot done, I also have some tips and tricks that you can use to do your own photograph. And I think that one of the major things that people think about is that, it would not be good enough. I don't like how I look. I mean, all you need is a decent smartphone and you need some good light, and that's it. If you have those two things in the right combination, then you can create a photograph that will be good enough to post on your profile. Of course, it's up to you as to how you want to dress. If you want to put on a shirt and tie, if you want to wear some industry appropriate clothing, if you're in a creative industry versus a corporate, a desk job or something of that sort, you could determine what flavor you want to go in terms of that. But from a capturing yourself in an appropriate way perspective, you definitely do not want to have that graduation hat with the tassel hanging in your face and the shiny robe and all those different stuff, regardless of if you went and you did a doctorate or you studied somewhere abroad. I mean, it's relevant, but it's only as far as relevant as wanting to get into the job that you want to get into. So an appropriate profile, not a graduation profile, is definitely something that I would recommend. I agree with you, Daniel.
Well, Andrew, feel free to jump in if you have any other questions for us. But in the interim, another point that I'd like to make, I like what you said about the background photo, because at the end of the day, we have to remember how we look at things, right? So when we go, for example, on a website, what we see above, what they call the above the fold. So that's before you start to scroll down to see what's not immediately visible when you load the website. That's the most important thing. And so don't neglect that banner photo, that banner area. Don't neglect your photo, but also don't neglect your headline. So the headline, I mean, I've seen persons use this in some creative ways, but the headline and the summary, that about area, that those first two areas where you get to really leverage words to capture attention and to give meaning to your profile, I think are some of the most underutilized areas.
Yeah.
Sometimes job seekers will put, job hunting or looking for a job, or somebody who's in, let's say you're in sales, they'll put, sales representative. And I think that's totally underutilized in the space, right? Think about not just the role that you're in, but also again where you're trying to go or the skill set that you're trying to leverage. Because I understand sometimes you don't know exactly what job role you're looking for, and you don't want to limit yourself by saying, I'm trying to get into X. So I totally get that. But
Mm,
however, take some time to think about the skill set that you
yes.
are really good at that you're looking to leverage in future opportunities.
Yeah.
And I would say utilize those keywords there in that headline area. And I think if you love your job and you would be open to other opportunities in that space too, then you can still find a way to merge the two, to put
Mhm.
your current role as well as the skill set that you're trying to leverage or that you want people to know you for and recognize your profile for. And then in the summary area is where you expound on that. A lot of times people use this area to just summarize their profile. I graduated with
Yeah.
honors from X university. And, it's just sort of like this reel that, restates what the profile has.
Yes.
But I would recommend that instead of doing that, try and get on a more personal level, get a connection. So use the summary area to speak more about, as if you were really telling someone about your purpose and really
Yes.
trying to get somebody to connect with you as a human being on a more personal level, the why you do what you do,
Yes.
you know how did you get here, and make it so that they find a reason to resonate with you. Wow, I really like this person.
Yes.
They'll get to know that you're a sales rep currently, or that you graduated from X university with X degree later when they scroll down. What you want to do here above the fold is to grab their attention
That's right.
and let them feel like there's a connection,
Yeah.
right? And it's kind of hard in this session to delve into how best to do this, but just score LinkedIn profiles of some of the LinkedIn experts. Look at Juma's profile, look at my profile, look at some other profiles of persons who are even, LinkedIn influencers. See how they're using that space,
Yeah.
because it's more than just a summary of your profile, and trust me, it's a huge opportunity to leverage keywords so that you can be found, but also to offer value and give people a reason to scroll down and read more about your profile, or even better, click that connect button or reach
Yes.
out and send you a message.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so, so true. You want to have that impact when people first come in and they see your profile. You want to present yourself in a way that stands out. You don't want to be vanilla like everyone else that the person. If a recruiter is coming to see your page, you want to show them something. No one comes to a monument to look at something mundane. They want to see
Hi,
something
Daniel.
interesting. They want to see something relevant. Hi, Andrew. Yes, you're on. You want to say something? They want to see something relevant. They want to see something that pertains to the thing that they're looking for. And relevancy is so important. So let me just give a little tip on how to use that banner space. Let's just jump back to that for a second. So the banner space is so very important. And there are many ways that you could use your banner space. But I would just say a couple things about that. You don't want to just have like a picture of some flowers or something, unless you're into horticulture or you're into landscaping or that type of thing. You want to have images that are relevant to where you want to go. So even if you have to do something like go get a stock image, do that. Even if there's a free image site called unsplash.com. You could do a search on there, find an image that is relevant to your industry, use that for your profile. But even if you want to level up that some more, you can even decide what I'm going to try my hand at Canva. That's canva.com. And I want to design my own profile banner. And I want to do that. The good thing about Canva and canva.com is that you have LinkedIn banner templates that you can jump in and they're preset for you. In the last test I did with them, they're a little bit oversized, a little bit too tall. Your LinkedIn profile banner is supposed to be a 4:1 ratio, which is If it's 2000 pixels wide, it has to be 500 pixels high. And, you can get around that because when you post it up, it allows you to kind of scoot it up and down and find the right positioning. But you could go design your own banner, change your colors if you think that you prefer particular colors. And here's a little hack. If there's a particular company you have your eye on, you might want to mirror their colors inside of your banner, just to kind of signal to them that maybe, this might be to grab their attention. This might be a good choice. If their colors are blue, then you might want to just, if you want to go with Talent Box, well, you have a whole lots of different things to choose from, all the greens and different things. You have lots of colors to choose from, but you might want to do that. And you want to put the relevant things inside of it. If you have a portfolio, you might want to just put your personal website, your resume website in the banner. Some people go as far as to put a contact number in the banner. You might want to put another image of yourself showing you in the profession that you're doing. So that profile banner has so many different uses that you can maximize for great impact when recruiters come to your profile.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, another thing that I think persons, don't know about, or maybe they just don't use, because I noticed I don't know about Trinidad, Juma, but a lot of Jamaicans,
I know what you're gonna say.
LinkedIn.
I think I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. All right, we create LinkedIn profiles, and then we don't even finish filling them out. I mean, we create the account, we start the profile, we start filling it out, and it's from the perspective of somebody who's finding your profile and looking at it, it looks empty, it looks blank.
Yes.
I mean, and that to me, I mean, when it doesn't tell you anything about the person, and so what you want to do is to really take your time to complete your profile. Now, I don't think it makes sense necessarily for us to talk about each aspect of the profile, because there's so many, and it's so easy for you to just follow the instructions and the guide on LinkedIn and complete it. But what I will say is the LinkedIn mobile app does allow you to see or measure your profile completeness. Yes. And what you're aiming for is what LinkedIn calls an all-star profile. And it tells you essentially what's missing. What's missing for you to get there. Yes, Andrew, we can hear you. Right. So LinkedIn, the All-Star, look for under the profile section, especially on the mobile app, I think is where it is. Look for that thing that tells you, the LinkedIn All-Star profile. It will tell you exactly what your specific profile is missing, so that you can go and complete the rest of those items. But aim for getting the All-Star profile. And then you have other tools as well. For example, JobScan. I think it's jobscan.co. I can't remember if it's .co or .com, but they also offer a LinkedIn analysis tool. So you can copy your LinkedIn URL, post it in JobScan, and it will analyze your profile and give you a score and make some recommendations of things you can do to enhance it. Mm-hmm. And lastly, speaking about the URL, I would recommend customizing it so that it reflects your name. So it's easy for people to find you, but also it's easy for you to share with others so that you can connect with them easily. So, and some people put it on their resumes, and so employers can see it on the resume and then easily just find that URL and look for them on LinkedIn. So I think that's another thing that you should do. But over to you, Juma.
Agreed. Let me just add to what you said about the URL for your name. In my case, I have a fairly unique name, although I've met someone with my name from somewhere else in the world. Luckily, they did not grab that name on LinkedIn from me. So I have a fairly unique name. So I got my name. So it's linkedin.com/INN/whatever customized URL you have. So you want to do that. But if you don't get your name, you might want to do something a little more creative, like say, it's Daniel Tate. You might want to do that, or do something a little creative with the URL. So and how you want to do it, you want to do it in a way that is, you can say it. you can write it out very easily. Because when you get it first, it's a lot of numbers. Yes, Danielle, it's a lot of numbers. It's not very user friendly. And when you talk about people coming to your profile, you want them to have a particular user experience at your profile. It's not very user friendly. Who's going to type in all those numbers? It's like you're typing an internet access code. And you know how we hate to do that, especially once on Digicel when we get the little code at the bottom. Oh my, nobody wants to do that. That's like you're typing in that. So you don't want recruiters to have that issue. So you want to make it very simple, as Daniel said. Customize your link so that when you put it on your resume, and if it's a digital resume and they want to click on it, boom, they go straight to your profile. No problem, no worries. They're right where they need to be, and they see your amazing profile banner and they see your
Yes.
profile photograph. I want to
Yeah.
add something to that, but you want to go now before I add something else?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, let me just add one more thing to that I think is really interesting and important. So there are two aspects of your profile, and both are, I think, are nice add-ons. One is audio, which I thought that's what you were going to hit on. I thought that's what you were going to say, but I'll just jump in and grab that from you. And the other one is something that is recent, which is creator mode in LinkedIn. Now, not everybody has creator mode, particularly in the Caribbean. They're rolling it out all over the world. The more active you are, the more likely you are to get it sooner. But for the speaker box that is on your profile, which can only be activated on mobile phones, what you can do is go into your LinkedIn profile, and if you have access to that, I think everyone has access to it now. You can
Yes, we
click
should.
on.
Yeah, everyone should.
Everyone should click on the speaker. You can record a 10-second audio message. I would say, Daniel, you have yours activated, yes?
I'm not using it. So see, I'm learning from Juba
Yes.
today. No, I knew about it, but
Yes.
I meant to do it, but I haven't done it
Hi,
yet. So
Daniel.
yes, Andrew, we can hear you.
Great. Awesome. Awesome. Oh boy. I'm loving the discussion. It's going great so far. But I know, especially for recruiters, on LinkedIn, they tend to do what I call a Boolean search, where they
Mhm.
would put in a specific um, keyword to really target certain candidates.
Yes.
So can you talk to us as to how important is keywords are? Because whilst the profile might look great and you might have a fantastic look and aesthetics of the profile, it recruiters can only find you based on the words that you really use, you know. So can you talk to us and tell us how important that is to the job search?
Yes, sure. So this was one of the earliest things we touched on in terms of the importance of the keywords. So remember that it's not just about who you are looking for, but think of it this way. If you want to find someone from a specific company, really, or a person in a specific job role, for example, you want to find out who the recruitment manager at X company is, maybe because you have an interview coming up and you want to do your due diligence, right? Or you're sending in an application and you want to add the names to the application, things like that. Just as how you would be entering search terms to limit the search results so that you can easily find the person that you're looking for. Similarly, when recruiters are looking for candidates, they are using what we call a Boolean search, which is really a string of keywords that they put together to refine the search results so they can drill down to find who they want. And this could be a combination of terms related to a job title, a skill set, a location, several other things. And so what you want to do is ensure that throughout your profile, again, you're not going to do what we call keyword spamming, right? So you're not going to just
Yeah.
randomly place these keywords all over your profile. But in the headline area, in the about us area, in the details that you put on the profile as it relates to maybe the description where you have your job details. So don't just put, sales representative, ABC company from this date to this date, right? But we want you to be more detailed than that. put a little bit about what you actually did, but more importantly, put more about your skills that you utilize in the role, as well as maybe skills that you learned during the role or were exposed to, as well as achievements you had during the role. So what did you actually accomplish in the role? And all of those descriptions would include keywords that may be relevant to a position that you're interested in, or maybe what a recruiter could be searching in order to find profiles like yours. And this is important because you might have been in a job, you might have used certain technologies, you may have used certain skills, and those skills and those technologies are not in the job title. So if you only put the job title, no one knows that you also were exposed to this software, or you were utilizing this particular skill in your role at that company, or you were recognized for this achievement. And so these areas are all the areas you're going to leverage keywords as much as possible. Now, of course, when you do a LinkedIn search, it also scores areas like the recommendations, and it also scores your skill assessments, and it also scores your endorsements. So I would encourage you to, again, we spoke about getting that all-star profile, right, where you have all the areas filled out. Encourage colleagues, your former managers, etc., to post endorsements and recommendations on LinkedIn, and encourage them to leverage or talk about your skills. So don't just put a blanket, oh, she was great to work with, but try and get them to add some detail about maybe the skills that they think you're really good at. And of course, you ensure you utilize those things in your profile. The last thing I'll say, Juma, before, because I know you have some tips to throw into this as well, but the last thing I'll say about this is that sometimes job seekers don't know what to put. So they don't know what keywords to use. So there are a number of ways you could figure this out. You could ask people, what am I good at? Ask your coworkers, ask your very, very close friends.
Yeah.
What am I good at? What skills do you think I'm really great at? What roles do you see me in? Also, think about your job now, if you have one. What are the things that you do on a daily basis over and over? What are the skills that you leverage over and over? Look at job listings and the job descriptions and the skill sets that they include, and ask yourself, are these skill sets that I'm leveraging right now, is this something I've been exposed to? Can I truthfully put this on my profile to say that I'm exposed to this, I know this, I'm experienced in this? Also you can do things like assessments, not just the LinkedIn skills assessments, but there are free personality and skills assessments that you can do online to learn more about yourself. And as you read the results, again, ask yourself, how much does this really translate to who I know? Myself, what I know about myself, and what I believe to be true about myself, and include the things that you are confident that, yes, this is me, right? Don't put things, obviously, we don't want you to lie on your profiles, and we don't want you to, just fill up your profiles with things that aren't true, because, that will just be that will just come back to haunt you. But definitely you can use some of those tips if you don't know for sure what to put just yet. That will give you some idea of maybe the keywords that you can leverage so that you can be found for the roles and the skills that you want to be found for.
That's great. That's great advice. When you said about don't lie and don't put skills that you're not proficient in. It's like when you say I'm proficient in Excel, and then they ask you to do a report in Excel and you can't do it. It's funny now, but some people actually have done those type of things. I would just add to that, what you said is very, very true, Daniel. I agree with it wholeheartedly. I would just add to that if we're talking about skills, then one of the ways that you can actually share your skills, if we're thinking about content creation for a job recruitment, one of the ways you can share your skills is by sharing some of the things you learn, either through carousels, or either through videos, or either through posters or something of that sort. And I would say to anybody who wants to catch the eye of a recruiter, use original content. Don't just share things that you found online or share other people's posts. Show them that you can speak for yourself. Show them that you know your stuff, that you can talk about the things that you've been involved in. You may want to make videos highlighting how-to processes. For example, if you're an accountant, you may want to do some kind of tutorials on how to balance particular type of books. If you're somebody who makes tables and chairs, you might want to showcase that. And that is just so that they know, hey, this person doesn't just talk the talk, but they can walk the walk. And the interesting thing is
That is
that one,
great.
oh, go ahead.
I really like that, what you've said. They need to show that it's not just about having all these pretty fancy dancy type of words, but you can actually produce at the end of the day. So one of the challenges is the approach. Um, how do a job seeker approach a recruiter on LinkedIn? As we know that LinkedIn is highly professional, and it is believed that people can really go there to find a job. Um, and separate and apart from the keywords, etc., it's important that job seekers understand and know how they navigate the platform, especially for job search. So, what would be your advice, Juma and then Daniel, as it relates to how a job seeker should approach a recruiter on LinkedIn?
That's a very, very excellent question, Andrew. And let me give you the long reward or the long approach that I think is very useful. So, in my mind, anything that you want to get on LinkedIn in particular, you want to start very much by knowing who you're speaking to. So there's no difference for people who are looking for jobs and they're approaching companies. So what I would say for anybody who wants to work with a particular company or has a particular company in mind, go follow that particular company's page. Turn up in the discussions that they're having. Comment on the relevant industry discussions that they're having. So if they post something, you turn up and you make a relevant comment. If they have some kind of seminar or some live thing, you register for it. While it's going on live and the business leaders are there talking, you make a relevant comment. If anything is, so you have to do that. You have to you have to present yourself to the company and present yourself in a relevant way. And the more you do that, the more you have engagement with those companies. And it may be more than one. Let's just suppose you're looking for a management position in a financial institution. You have to turn up and talk about management related things to finance with those companies that you're seeking to impress. And the more you turn up, the more they will see you and the more they will see you, so that when they're actually looking for someone, you'll be top of mind. You're basically entering at the top of the customer journey, the top of the funnel with awareness. And you've built that awareness so that they can now come and say, oh, I can look at this person as somebody who I know has been commenting and saying relevant things. If they want to get hired, we'll be very happy to hire them.
Mhm. To add to what Juma said, I think there are some myths about connecting on LinkedIn. You have one set of individuals who feel that people aren't going to help me. If I reach out and ask for help, no one is going to respond. And then you have the other set who feel that I need to connect with a lot of people and I need to just spam them with asking them for what I want. And really, there is a middle ground. But the key here is you need to operate from a position of value and not desperation. So
Yeah.
if all you're doing is reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'm trying to find a job, I need a job, or I need a mentor, and I need, or I lack, I don't have this, I don't have this. People may be less inclined to share the resource, which is the most important resource we all have, which is time, with you, because it spells neediness, and we all have important things to do, and we all already have too much on our plate. And it's hard for you to really think about how I'm going to help all of these people. It becomes kind of burdensome, and it feels really, it feels burdensome. So instead of going from a position and reaching out from a position of desperation and simply need, How about reach out from a position of value? So do exactly what Juma said. Look through that profile first. Try find a point of connection, and don't just do this, trying to mask your purpose, right? No, genuinely look and try to understand people, understand what they care about, understand
Yeah.
maybe what complementary aspects and things they are. So when you reach out from a position of, I'm trying to connect with this person because I see that there's a genuine shared interest here, or potential interest, or I really admire this person because I've taken the time. I can see that, wow, this person is really good at what they do. I'm going to reach out to acknowledge that they're great at what they do, or I'm going to reach out from the position of this shared interest or complementary, position, and try and build a relationship with them
Yeah.
and try and get to know them. And yes, there may be an ask, I want to learn from this person. But what I find is persons will come and say, I would like you to be my mentor, or I want a mentor, can you help me find a mentor? When instead what they should be doing is asking very specific questions. So don't just say I want a mentor, but you need to
Yeah.
ask them, what is it that you want to know? Like, how can I help you? You'll more get people to respond to you if you come saying, this is what I realize that you seem to really know a lot about this. These are my
Mhm.
questions. Would you be able to help me understand this a little better? It's specific, which means that the person can now allocate a set amount of time to responding to you, and they don't feel like they're taking on more responsibility than they can manage with their own busy lives, by taking on this mentee now that they have to commit ongoing time to. So it's a totally different way of reaching out and conversation. And again, even if you do get that person to respond and you have questions, also again, like I said, offer value. Compliment them genuinely on what you've learned about them or what you appreciate about them. Offer, maybe if there's something that you see that you could offer them, offer as well, so that it's a fair exchange, and it's a relationship that's being built.
Mhm.
If you notice, for example, they're in the finance space, and they like to perhaps be in the know about certain things, and you've come across a really important or key article or resource or something, share it with them. That's
Mhm.
how
Yeah.
introverts network. We don't necessarily like to be in the spotlight all the time, but what we like to do or know how to do very well is to offer or share value with people. Whenever we come across something that's useful to someone, that person pops up in our mind, we share it with them. It shows you're genuinely thinking about them, not just about yourself and what you want to get out of that relationship.
Yeah.
And people will appreciate you for it. I have connected a lot of persons on LinkedIn. Just today, I read a message that came in early in the week, someone thanking me. They had found a job. Now, I wasn't the one who helped her find the job, but I connected her to a mentor. Mentor meaning someone who answered specific questions for her, or asked, was able to or will be able to answer specific questions for her. But what she appreciated was the fact that I was, we were consistently in contact. I was answering questions, checking in on her job search, etc. And she was consistently following up with me. So it's a relationship that's being built here. So whenever I see something that would be relevant to her job search, I would share it, with her, because she's top of mind. We've been
Yeah.
having a conversation. Likewise, I would hope that if she sees something that's of value to me and she appreciates the relationship, she's also going to do the same with me. And so,
Yeah.
we need to operate from a position of value, not desperation. Don't think these people I'm reaching out to are all the way up here and I don't have anything to offer. Don't think that way, because that's number one, not true. And number two, it's the easiest way to turn people off from actually connecting, wanting to have a connection with you. And the last thing I would say about this is actually follow through. Another thing I've had happen is I've helped persons connect for interviews. I've had them connect with other persons who can help them and answer questions to them or mentor them on the platform. or I've gone and gotten a resource to help or support someone, and they just completely disappeared for like weeks. So when you start to engage on LinkedIn, be serious about it. When you reach out, whether it's to a recruiter or someone else, be serious about it. Follow up and follow through, and people will respect you for it and appreciate you for it,
Yeah.
and be more willing to help you in the future.
True.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Talking Talent. It happens here every Wednesday at 6:30 across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And tonight we've been joined by Juma Bannister out of Trinidad and Tobago, Daniel Tate out of Jamaica. And we've been looking at how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for your job search. And this episode has been sponsored by Joni Gay Cawley and Associates. Let's take a 30 minutes break. We'll be right.
Joni Gay Cawley, HR consultant, providing HR solutions for SMEs, recruitment, performance management, customized training. Call 876-832-6330 or visit our website at www.smesolutions.expert.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from that short but needed 30 seconds break. Really, really appreciate it. You're not seeing my face tonight because I've been having technical difficulties. So thank you so much to Daniel and to Juma. They've been doing an awesome job. And Daniel, we talked quite a lot about the active job seeker. So really, that person who is out there on LinkedIn scouting and searching for opportunities. And most of the tips that we share would have applied to them. But here comes the corporate professional who is really not looking for a job until a job opportunity comes up. What would you say to that person who is not really actively looking for an opportunity, but might be open? What would be most important? What would be the most important tip you give to that person?
Well, I think Juma touched on some of this earlier, so I'll leave some of it for him to kind of delve further into. But what I would say about this is that, remember, each person has a different purpose on LinkedIn. And for you, I think as a corporate professional who you're not looking for a job right now, the greatest thing that you can do is to continue to build your sort of brand presence. And when I speak about your brand presence, I'm talking about your professional brand. And this is for a number of reasons. We never know what may happen. I mean, no one expected COVID. Businesses that were doing well and that were thriving, and positions that were secure before all of a sudden came into question. And anything can happen, things can change. And so you always want to be building your brand such that you make yourself open and available to opportunities. But it's not just about what may happen to your current role, but you never know what opportunities could come to you that you didn't expect, you didn't think about, because someone is able to really recognize and find you. And they now know about you. They can approach you with opportunities that you didn't even see coming. And this doesn't have to disrupt your full-time job. This could be a part-time opportunity, or it could be a freelance opportunity to leverage the skill set that you've been building. I mean, who doesn't want to have multiple income streams, right? The other thing I would say is that as we develop or in our careers and we transition to a certain level, after a while, consulting sometimes becomes an opportunity. And what you want to have is this, treasure trove of not just your profile, but content, and an accumulation of an asset that really speaks to the wealth of your skill set. And that you can then leverage maybe into consulting opportunities as a transitional opportunity for you later in your career. Should you choose to retire, or if you are no longer in a full-time opportunity, that's something that you could then leverage. It's way harder for you to then build that from scratch when you desperately need it, when you're exiting a company in the retirement phase, or if you are you've lost a job and now you desperately need to start something. It's harder for you to just build that from scratch. Rather, if you have your profile and you keep it updated and you keep it fresh and you're building those connections and you're building those relationships, you're always in a ready state for opportunities when they come up. Now, Juma is the expert now on the content and that stuff, so he could speak more to that, and he did mention that earlier. So I'll hand over if he has anything to share with that. But that's what I would say. Keep your brand in a ready state for opportunities, not just the ones that you might be looking out for, but the opportunities that may come to you from anywhere in the world. I'll mention really quickly someone I admire on LinkedIn, Terry Carell Reed. She only started building her LinkedIn presence maybe now, I don't know if it's been 2 years now, I think it was 2019 she said she started, and look at her now. She's getting opportunities from around the globe. Sometimes we limit ourselves to Jamaica or Trinidad or the Caribbean, and LinkedIn opens up a wealth of opportunity, a world of opportunity. If you are a corporate professional, you have a skill set that could be leveraged, whether digitally or it could be leveraged internationally. You never know the opportunities that may come your way, but you have to hone that presence and build that brand that can show value and showcase your skill set and have the right persons find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that so very much. And I think the term or the acronym I want to use is CRC. So you want to have constant, relevant content. That's what you want to have. And you want to build that out over a period of time. And you talked about readiness for whatever may happen. That readiness might be readiness to say, no, I don't want that job. It might be that. It might be someone turning up and they find that you're so valuable to what they might want to build that they'll make an offer. But you also want to be ready to turn that person down if you need to. But in order for you to do that, you have to be valuable. You have to be relevant. You have to be ready. So you want to have constant, relevant content, always putting something out there. You don't want your LinkedIn profile to be a ghost town. You don't want your LinkedIn profile when people come. There's the thing on LinkedIn that shows if you've posted within the last 90 days. I've gone to many a profile looking to connect. And let me tell you, here's the truth. When I see that nothing has happened within the last 90 days, I just skip over and go to the next one. Because in my mind, this person is not creating content, or they're not making an effort to comment, or they're not making an effort to connect or build relationships on the platform. And I don't know what type of connection they might be. So in the case of someone who is always building their career and always looking to do more on LinkedIn, you have to have a stream of constant, relevant content. Whatever industry you're in, whatever thing you're looking for, whatever area of advancement you're looking to be in, have something that is relevant to that in whatever form. And of course, we know you could have various forms of content. We can choose. We could have a content dartboard and throw a dart. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're proficient in, whatever speaks to you as a content creator, because we're all content creators, then you do that. But whatever it is, it has to be constant, which means you have to do it on a fixed schedule, or at least to the point where people can expect something from you. It has to be relevant. It has to be relevant to the industry, relevant to the people you are speaking to, and it has to be some type of content. So that's what I would say to a person like that.
And one of the dangers of not being in that constant state of readiness is that when you are ready to start to build your profile and leverage some of the things that you've done over the years, a lot of times you can't find the content then, and you don't remember, and you miss key details, and then it's a lost opportunity. We all have that where, boy, we wish we had saved that video of us, presenting here or speaking here, or we wish we had save these pictures or had this content ready, and we can't find it when we need it. So it's good to keep LinkedIn like this repository that you're building on over time.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the connections, though. So remember that LinkedIn is just a big social network. right? And if you are active, you're constantly meeting people, you're constantly connecting, you're constantly learning about people that you want to connect with. And so sometimes we don't know how these connections are going to play out. It's social
Mm,
capital. We don't know how it's going
mm,
to play out in our careers and in our life. We don't know what role they're going to play. And it could be surprisingly some of these same persons that we're connecting with help us to get access to the
yeah.
opportunities that we want. Or we learn things that help us in our existing careers to level up, from where we are. Or if you are in in the working world right now and you're quite comfortable and you're fine, maybe you learn something from one of these connections that you utilize in your own company, that
Mm,
helps you maybe leverage lateral leadership or influencing, and to then get you even more opportunities within your own organization. So there, I can't see the downsides. Outside of course, you have to invest the time to actually do it. Wherever you are, whether you're at the start of your career, mid-career, or if you're, getting close to that point where you are want to transition into maybe return from full-time work to maybe doing consulting or freelancing or something, there are benefits to leveraging LinkedIn and optimizing your LinkedIn presence.
most definitely
Thank you
agree
so much. So,
wholeheartedly.
yes, go ahead, Juma.
No, I'm just saying I agree.
Awesome, awesome. So we're wrapping up, and I really appreciate it for both of you joining us tonight. It's been really a great conversation, albeit I'm in the background. But can you tell us about LinkedIn Premium? Does that play a role in your job search? Is it better to take that free 30-day trial and then put your credit card to just keep on charging it at the end of the month? What are your takes on LinkedIn Premium? Does it help in the job search? Juma, then Daniel.
I tried it. I mean, I don't have a premium account right now, but I did try it for the trial period. I decided not to go ahead with it, but then my situation is a little bit different. I am an employer and I'm not looking for a job. But what I do understand, I've tracked down the stats during that time, and one of the good benefits you can get from having LinkedIn Premium is just reach. You can speak to people. Listen, when we were getting creator mode, I literally emailed the CEO of LinkedIn and told him that Caribbean people need creator mode. I sent him a direct mail because I wanted us to get it, and I find that in Caribbean we don't get things fast enough. And I wrote him a letter directly. Now I couldn't have done that if I didn't have the in-mail function from Premium. So I think there are benefits, and one of the major benefits is just reach.
Yeah. So guys, we have Juma to thank when we see the Caribbean getting some premium LinkedIn features. But no, that's awesome though. But I agree with Juma. It's the same experience for me. I don't have premium now, but I had it in the past, and I did pay for it as well because I really love the stats. I also love being able to see everyone who was viewing my profile. For a while that was interesting because to me, I just wanted to know, where these people came from, why, try and figure out the purpose. What is it that they were getting from my profile or how they were finding me. And that was really interesting for a while. I don't find that I need it now, and I don't think you absolutely need it as a job seeker. Obviously, it's an advantage, but I don't think you absolutely need it. However, if you've never tried it, go ahead and try the free trial and see the difference. Like I said, I did enjoy having access to those stats, and then of course it opens you up to be able to connect more easily with certain persons that you can't send messages to immediately right now when you connect with them. So I thought that was good. I don't think it's absolutely necessary though, like I said, but it's try it out. I mean, there's nothing to lose. You have a free trial. Why not?
Yeah.
Definitely for business purposes. So if you are in a sales role, or if you are right. So if you own a company and you utilize LinkedIn for leads, if you're a recruiter and you utilize LinkedIn for leads, LinkedIn will actually lock you out if you connect to too many people without a LinkedIn premium profile. recruiter profile. And similarly for the sales arm of it. So for those types of categories of individuals, I would look at getting the premium option for sure. But for a job seeker, it's not absolutely necessary, but try it out. Definitely.
It's 100 per week now, right? It's 100 connections limit per week now. That's what it is, yes?
I'm not sure, but I've been locked out. So when we were in the recruitment space for a little while, we were doing active recruitment. So I experienced that, and it wasn't nice. But I'm not sure exactly what the limit is.
Yeah, I think it's 100 per week now. They warn you. So every now and again I get a warning when I try to connect to too many people. So yeah, so I think that's the way you could go with LinkedIn Premium. You don't really need it, but you can utilize it if you have it, and definitely take the It took me a while to take the 30-day trial. I find now that they are bombarding me, trying to get me to pay for it, which I don't like at all. I've tried to turn it off, but I can't. So try it if you have access to it. And I guess Andrew is online. So most definitely, some of the things that we can look at on our profile. I think earlier on I was mentioning the little speaker that you have on your profile, and utilizing that functionality. I think that it's very, very useful to introduce yourself. If you have time, go and check profiles and look at people who have the speaker on their profile next to their name, and you can listen to what that sounds like. You can go listen to mine. I think mine is interesting. And you can go ahead and, if you are so desirous, you can do one for you. Just record it on your cell phone. And then when people come to your profile and they want to hear your voice, they want to hear your personality, it's really made for just name pronunciations. But I don't think anybody who has access to that should just use it for that. Use it for what you want how you want to present yourself to any recruiter who may turn up.
So I guess we're going to just share some final thoughts now as we close. Since you just commented, I'll go first. So my leave-in comment to everyone is, remember, one of the two most important things you have, time, but I also think social capital is hugely important. And social capital is something you build from anywhere in your career journey and your life journey that can help you at any point in time. And LinkedIn gives you an unprecedented ability to build social capital anywhere in the world and very easily. So what I would say is, don't overlook it. Use it to build connections. Operate from a position always of value. What's the value that I can bring? What's the value that I can offer? Not from a position of desperation, no matter how actually desperate you are for a job, right? There's always value, and operate from that level. And build genuine connections, leverage genuine keywords relating to your skill sets, and position yourself and your profile for what you are looking for, not limited to where you are now, right? So think about where you're trying to go. When someone sees your profile, what role do you want them to see you in? How do you want them to see you in based on the opportunities that you want to come to you, not limited to where you are right now.
Yeah, and I would add, my final thoughts would be that you want to be found, but you really, really want to stand out. LinkedIn has 700 million plus users, and its use is growing exponentially in the Caribbean. So when recruiters find you, you want to be able to stand out. Utilize your profile banner, find some relevant image, or even if you want to, you could create some banner for yourself in Canva. Utilize your image or your profile picture. Don't put a graduation picture. Take one for yourself or have one professionally done. And you also want to create relevant content. So constant, relevant content. CRC, constant, relevant content. That's what you want to do in order so that when people come to your profile, that they'll be able to find or get a sense of who you are and what you can bring to the table with regard to employment at their institution or company.
So back over to you, Andrew. Thanks everyone for joining us. Andrew, we're not hearing you just yet.